Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fitness to Influence. Today we are doing a solo episode, and this episode is geared towards my content creators or anyone who is aspiring to be a successful content creator, maybe build a side gig or a full-blown full-time business. So let's get into how I grew my Instagram 130% in just under a year. All right, so let's get into it. This is actually the second time I'm recording this. The first time the audio was a little off, so let's see if I can do this a little bit quicker. First time it was 30 minutes. I'm gonna try to do this in about 10 or 15. So let's get into what's currently working on Instagram, how I grew my channel, my Instagram page, and how you guys can use these tips to grow yours too. But first, a little bit of mindset, preparedness, readiness. Number one, there is plenty of room at the top. If you're watching this and you're like, oh, it's such a saturated market, that is not true. There is room for you and your voice. And number two, you are never too old to start over. There are many women who are very successful, second act in life, and that too can be you if it's something that you want. So the first that you need to be aware of is consistency. That is honestly the top priority. Right now, Instagram is prioritizing reels and carousels. You should not be posting single photos on Instagram. Now, with the reels, you want to be posting about 5 a week. If you want to take a break on the weekends, that is okay. Most content creators will create content for their weekends, so they're not actively doing it. I'm more of an on-the-fly person, which is not what I recommend, but that's just what works for me. But you don't have to post every single day, but you should post most days. So 5 to 7 times a week is recommended in your feed. Stories is a little bit of a different beast these days. Now, some people still love to post lots of stories. If you are noticing that your story views are irregular, they're a little bit lower than usual, then I encourage you to take a break. Wait till all your stories expire and then post again. Now, posting just one photo after they expire tends to do the best. However, if you have a business, you may have more that you want to say to your audience. So play around with it, balance it. Maybe some days you post a lot and then let those expire. Try posting just one thing. One thing to note about stories is that Instagram is favoring engagement. This is the same with Reels as well. So if you're going to post a story and you just post one link, that's going to take your audience to another platform, another page. Instagram is then going to downgrade you in recommending you among the feed, among creators. What you can do to keep them engaged is number one, use stickers, ask a poll, ask a question, have your audience engage with you versus leaving the platform. If you want to provide them with something like a link, you could use a service like Link DM. Well, probably not with that one, maybe, or ManyChat. I'm going to talk about that later. These are both the automated AI services that are going to interact with your audience on a trigger basis. So if you put a story up and you say, hey, DM me the word blue to get a link to my blue sweatshirt, once you set up this automation, you don't have to do it manually. ManyChat will send a link to that person. This will look like more engagement. I know that when I post stories, if it is something that people feel passionately about or they relate to, it will do well. It will be recommended to more creators and it will be seen among those first few stories. As you know, when you look at your Instagram, you see certain people probably pretty frequently, and then sometimes you'll get random people that will pop up, and that's because they have a story that people are engaging with. So I had a story do really well the other week when I said I was really unmotivated to work out. And a lot of people responded and they said, this is very relatable. Thank you for sharing this. And that did really well. Whenever I mention anything about Nick and I not being married, that always does really well because I think people are like, wait, what? It's unexpected. And so that's kind of a funny thing. People like FAQs, things like that, but keep people engaged, keep people interested. So consistency, you're posting regularly. Next, think of Instagram as you would a blog post in that it is search engine optimized driven. So how can you take advantage of this? If you're not sure what SEO, search engine optimization means, you got to figure that out. Basically, Instagram is searchable from Google. So you want to make sure, and through Instagram, of course, you want to make sure that if somebody is looking for, let's say you're doing fitness content, for people that are 50 years old and perimenopause and, full body at home workouts, that you have those keywords in your Instagram reel caption or in the actual reel. So here's a few ways that I do it. Instagram would like you to use their editing. I actually use CapCut, and then I will export it. When I export it and I add it into Instagram, this is a little controversial. I will copy and paste a list of keywords in my notes app, and I will put them very, very small in my reel. There are some people that say this doesn't work. There are some people that say it does. I have found that most often when my reels go viral, I do this. So I don't know if it helps, but it doesn't hurt, right? So I make it really small so you can't see. Otherwise, I would include captions that do have those types of SE words in the actual reel. Then, in addition, in the description, you want your description to be good. You don't want it to be a boring SEO type article. We've all read those where it just doesn't flow well. But you want to make sure that you get some of those words into that description, and you want to make sure that the description does relate to the video. So I will put things like midlife women, perimenopause, at-home workout, nutrition, macros, things that apply to what I am selling my program. I will then do thoughtful keywords. You do not need to do 20 keywords. We used to do a comment with like 20 different keywords. We now are seeing more traction with thoughtful keywords. You need maybe 5, 6 things that actually have to do with your content. I personally like to use keywords that don't have millions of other people using them, but sometimes I will. If I see a reel pop up in my feed and they have keywords and I don't follow that person and the reel's doing really well, sometimes I'll take a screenshot of it and I will be like, oh, these are keywords I hadn't personally thought of, but they look like they're doing well for this person and I will use them. They're obviously not things that are groundbreaking, but like I saw someone using fit at home and that reel showed up in my feed and I'm like, oh, I do an at-home fitness program. I should be using this. So I started using it on much of my reels and, I've seen growth. So I continue to do this tip trick. I don't know. A lot of these things, it's like they work today, they might not work tomorrow, but these have worked for me. This is what helped me grow 130%. Next, ManyChat. I kind of mentioned this earlier. ManyChat is an automated AI program that you sign up for, and it automatically integrates with your Instagram channel. You can use it with Facebook and other channels, I believe, as well, but I pretty much exclusively use it for my Instagram. I know I should be using it for my Facebook as well. People do, but this is what I do. Brittany Mullins, if you listen to my interview with her, she uses LinkedIn. It's an alternative. There are probably others now as well, but I still do use ManyChat, so I'm going to reference that one. How I use ManyChat. So again, Instagram favors engagement. So I use ManyChat to boost engagement. I don't want to be on my phone all day. Am I some days? Yes, but I don't want to be. And ManyChat gives you the ability to boost your engagement on your reels so that they do well without being on your phone every single day. So here's what I do. You create your reel, or you could even set up the ManyChat before and you would just click, do this on my next reel, or you can post your reel and then select it. You create a trigger word. So you'll notice that a lot of times people will say, hey, comment guide below and I'll send you my free hormone guide. So how this works is when somebody comments guide on your post, and with Instagram's new security update, a lot of times these people actually need to be following you in order for you to be able to DM them. So this is a great way as well now to kind of get followers. So you say, make sure if you want this guide that you're following me so that I can DM you this link. So they'll comment guide. ManyChat allows you to say, hey, thanks for commenting. Go see your DMs. I sent you one. You don't have to do that. But again, that counts as another point towards your engagement that Instagram uses to kind of decide whether or not they're going to promote your reel to people that don't follow you or follow you as well. Then you have the ability to automatically DM them a message. Hey, thanks so much for your interest. Here is a link to my hormone guide. For me, I use Flowdesk. I then send them a link to a Flowdesk form that says, yep, send me this guide. I get their email, and then they get my guide directly to their email. This counts as like 3 points of engagement because they're leaving a comment, I'm responding to their comment, and then I am sending them a DM. I will later go and like their comment, so that's 4 per comment. As soon as that comment is left, you are leaving that comment, immediately boosting that engagement. So that has been something that is really helpful for me. You can use this for stories. The sky is the limit with this. You can really make it as complex as you want. You can hire people to do it for you if it's not something that you find to be interesting, but it is a powerful tool and it increases your engagement. So then Instagram is more likely to recommend it to people that don't already follow you. Next, this I'm not going to talk about long, but you should still be using trending audio. Instagram has made it a lot easier to see trending audio. I have trained the algorithm to show me newly trending audios. So I scroll through my reels, I look for audio that has an up arrow, I will click that, I will see how many listens it has, how many uses it has. I personally try to find audios that are trending with the up arrow sign that have less than 10,000 uses, preferably under 5 or 2. It is sometimes hard to do that. However, if there's a popular new Taylor Swift song and it has more uses than that and it is one of the top 50, I will still use that. But you should always be using a trending sound. Even if you were talking, put it very low. You even could just mute yourself, or not mute yourself, mute the music, but it still looks like it's there. Next, let's quickly talk about length. Instagram wants you to be doing Instagrams between 30 and 90 seconds. Over 90 seconds, they've said your content will not be shown to people who don't already follow you. Here's the deal. 30 seconds is longer than we've been seeing. Before, it was like really short. There were 1-second reels that were doing really well. A lot of times, though, these short reels don't necessarily translate into new followers. So I recommend, between honestly 7 and 10 seconds, sometimes for these fun, quick, engaging videos. But 30 to 60 seconds, I think, is what Instagram wants us to be doing. But you need to be a good storyteller to post a video this long. You'll see the words on the screen. Wait a few seconds. Next words, wait a few seconds. This is how you should be telling a story. I have a one that does really well and I will recycle it. That's another tip. If a reel does well, recycle it, reuse it. Brittany shared this with us. I don't know if she shared this on the podcast or if this was before we hit record, but she had a viral recipe and she just reposted it the following year and it went viral even more the second time. My storytelling viral reel that does well is I say, when I was 18, I hated my soccer thighs. At 28, I was always trying to lose the last 5 to 10 pounds at it's like at 18, I hated my soccer thighs at, was it 132 pounds? At 28, I wanted to lose 5 to 10 pounds at 138. It's like now at 40, I weigh 140 and I feel better than I ever have. I feel like I look amazing. The point is, it was never about the scale. But it's a story and people are interested to hear, well, what's the punchline? Like, did you lose the weight? Did you not lose the weight? People are curious. But the best storytellers end up being the most successful creators. So think about what story you're telling. Sometimes people are telling a story about like a recipe. My kids are really picky eaters. I don't have a lot of time to make food. It's kind of this story, but it is a recipe. And so you want to point of this one is keep your reel 30 to 60 seconds. Next, reels are a flash in the pan. If you want to elongate their lifespan, you've spent all this time, give them a good reel cover. That way, when people go to your profile and maybe they didn't originally see this reel, they can click that they want to watch it. So I would recommend doing a reel cover. In regards to reel covers, though, the 7th tip is you need to prioritize optimizing your profile page. This is where people are going to go and decide whether or not they're going to follow you. This should say clearly who you are and what people are going to gain if they follow you. If they do not know this, they will not click follow. You want to make sure, you don't have to necessarily make sure it's completely 100% pretty because people want real life, but you don't want it to look like chaos. You can check out my profile to see kind of what I mean, but you don't want to say, my name is Sarah. I love margaritas and working out, like follow me. No, mine says, Sarah Dussault, fitness and nutrition coach. I help midlife women optimize how they look and feel or something like that. Home workouts, macros. I don't know what else it says offhand. I'm recording this on my phone, so I can't quite look. And then I have a link, join my next round. I give them a call to action. You could say, download this free guide. And then the link, you want them to, click to capture them as a lead. You don't want to have too many links. I have 2. But I think probably one performs the best because people aren't confused on which one to click. And then the last thing is your job is to market your business, is to, promote yourself. Your job is not necessarily to keep up with these Instagram trends, and it can be really overwhelming. There are Instagram creators who share growth strategies. I recommend sharing some of them. I like following Abigail Pugh, I think is one, Shannon McKinstry. I'm probably mispronouncing her name. There's one that's like, I can't think of all of their names, but I'm going to put them in the show notes on the people that I like to follow. But they keep you updated on what's going on, what's new, what's trending, what is out, because it is constantly evolving. If you want to become an influential Instagram creator, you can do it. You have to be consistent and you have to do these things consistently. You can't just do a few of them. Sometimes you got to do all of them and you will be successful. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. I hope you got a few little tidbits that you weren't already applying. And if you do try these and they do work for you, let me know below. And I'm excited to see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye now.